I stood in a warehouse at 1:30 a.m. last Tuesday with $6,000 in cash stuffed in my jacket, waiting for a man I'd never met to arrive with 50 ounces of silver. The text message that brought me here came from a burner phone. Warehouse on 34th Street, $120 per ounce. Cash only. Come alone. COMEX was showing silver at $73. This dealer wanted $120. I brought the cash. He brought the metal. We completed the transaction under dim LED lights with no paperwork, no identification, no record that this exchange ever happened. And in that moment, as I walked out carrying silver worth $9,000 at black market prices, but only $3,600 at official prices, I realized the official silver market has completely collapsed, and an underground economy has taken control of actual metal trading in America. This investigation started 4 weeks ago when I attempted something that should be simple: buying 100 ounces of physical silver at or near the official COMEX spot price. I called 7 of the largest precious metals dealers in America, household names that advertise during financial news programs and have sterling reputations built over decades. What I discovered shocked me. 5 dealers told me they had zero inventory available for immediate delivery. One dealer said they could deliver in 9 to 11 weeks at $94 per ounce, $21 over spot. The 7th dealer quoted $103 per ounce with a 6-week minimum wait and full payment required up front. I tried 14 local coin shops across 3 states. 11 had virtually no silver inventory. The 3 that had metal quoted prices between $107 and $116 per ounce, with 2 requiring cash payment only. After 3 weeks of calling, visiting, negotiating, I could not purchase 100 ounces of silver anywhere near the $73 COMEX price. The official price had become completely meaningless because no one would actually sell metal at that price with reasonable delivery terms. So I started asking different questions in different places: online forums dedicated to precious metals, encrypted messaging groups, private Facebook groups for coin collectors and stackers. Within 48 hours, I had 5 contacts for people claiming to sell physical silver outside normal channels. 2 contacts went nowhere, probably scammers looking for wire transfers to disappear. 1 wanted to meet in a casino parking lot in Atlantic City at 3 a.m., which felt too dangerous. The 4th contact was professional, careful, and willing to meet in a secure warehouse with proper lighting and security cameras covering the parking area. That became the 1:30 a.m. meeting where I bought 50 ounces at $120 cash per ounce from a dealer who introduced himself only as Marcus. Marcus operated with the efficiency of someone running a sophisticated business, even though everything about it was designed to avoid official records and tax reporting. He had a portable XRF analyzer to verify metal purity, a calibrated scale for weight verification, and neat stacks of various silver products organized by type and premium level. I move about 12 to 15,000 ounces per month, he told me while I inspected the bars under his LED lights. All cash transactions, no paperwork, no reporting. I source from estate sales, desperate sellers who need immediate liquidity, occasionally from miners and refiners who want off-the-books sales for a premium. I pay $85 to $95 depending on form and quantity. I sell for $115 to $125. My customers get immediate delivery, complete privacy, and prices that are actually competitive with what legitimate dealers charge when you factor in their premiums and multi-month delays. The official market is dead. It cannot function at $73 prices when the real cost of sourcing physical metal is over $100, so people like me have built an alternative market that actually works. I created a graph comparing my experience attempting to buy through official channels versus underground networks, and the visual representation is damning for the legitimate precious metals industry. Official dealers, average quoted price $98 per ounce, average delivery timeline 7 to 10 weeks. 3 dealers required full payment upfront with no delivery guarantees. 5 dealers had no inventory at any price. Black market dealers. Average quoted price $119 per ounce. Average delivery timeline 24 to 72 hours. All dealers accepted payment on delivery after metal verification. All dealers had immediate inventory available. The black market is charging $21 more per ounce but delivering in a fraction of the time with better terms and more reliability. From a customer perspective, the underground market is actually more trustworthy and efficient than regulated dealers, which represents a complete inversion of how markets are supposed to function. I interviewed Dr. Catherine Walsh, an economist at Columbia who studies black market formation and underground economies, and her analysis provided crucial framework for understanding what I was witnessing. Black markets emerge when official markets fail to provide goods at prices or delivery terms that meet actual demand, she explained during our video call. What you're seeing in silver is textbook market failure creating conditions for underground alternatives. The official COMEX price of $73 cannot be the true market price if no one will actually sell physical metal at that price with reasonable delivery. That's not a price. That's a fiction. The black market price of $120 is the real market price because that's where actual transactions occur between willing buyers and willing sellers with immediate delivery. The black market isn't exploiting customers. It's providing a service the official market has completely failed to provide. Actual silver at actual prices with actual delivery. The supply chain breakdown driving buyers to underground dealers is severe and getting worse. I obtained production data from refiners serving North America, and the numbers are stark. The 3 largest refiners have combined annual capacity of approximately 41 million ounces. Their current order backlog totals 68 million ounces. That's a 16-month backlog at full production rates. Refiners are running continuous operations, maximizing output, bringing in temporary workers, and still falling further behind demand every week. I spoke with a refinery operations manager who explained the fundamental problem. We can only refine silver as fast as mines deliver ore to us, and mine production is relatively fixed in the short term. Meanwhile, demand has exploded from industrial users who need metal for manufacturing, and from investors who want physical possession because they don't trust paper markets anymore. We're maxed out on production, and we cannot build new refining capacity fast enough, so delivery times keep extending and prices keep rising, but even rising prices can't create silver that physically doesn't exist. The graph showing refinery delivery timelines over 18 months is genuinely terrifying in its exponential curve. 18 months ago, average time from order placement to delivery was 2 to 3 weeks. 12 months ago, 5 to 7 weeks. 6 months ago, 10 to 14 weeks. Today, 22 to 32 weeks depending on product form. That curve is accelerating, showing a system under extreme stress that's breaking down rather than stabilizing. For retail customers, those are wholesale timelines. Add distribution, dealer processing, and shipping, and you're looking at 8 to 10 months from placing an order to receiving silver. In a market this volatile, 10-month delivery delays are functionally equivalent to unavailability. You could order today at $73 and receive metal 10 months from now when market price might be $160, or you can pay $120 to a black market dealer tonight and have immediate possession. The economically rational choice is obvious. I interviewed a second underground dealer, a woman I'll call Sarah who operates in the Southwest, moving approximately 13,000 ounces monthly through a network of private buyers. I started buying estate silver 3 years ago, she told me during an encrypted phone call. I'd purchase from widows and families liquidating collections, then resell to legitimate dealers for small margins. But 18 months ago, those dealers started offering lower prices, taking longer to pay, adding more conditions and delays. Meanwhile, I had individual buyers asking if I could sell directly to them because they were frustrated with official dealers who had no stock or quoted ridiculous premiums with month-long waits. So I started selling directly. All cash transactions, no records, immediate delivery within 48 hours, prices between $115 and $125 depending on quantity. My business has nearly quadrupled in volume over the last year because I provide what the official market cannot: reliability, speed, and competitive pricing for actual physical metal. Sarah's operation illustrates the sophistication developing in underground silver markets. She maintains a database of approximately 240 active buyers, mostly middle-class Americans ages 45 to 70 concerned about inflation and financial stability. She sources from estates, coin shows, individuals facing financial distress who need quick cash, and occasional small refiners willing to sell limited quantities for immediate payment at premium prices. She verifies metal authenticity using professional equipment. She delivers personally or through trusted couriers. She's built annual revenue probably exceeding $2.3 million, entirely unreported, entirely operating in shadows, entirely because the official precious metals market has failed so comprehensively that sophisticated alternatives have emerged to fill the void. The human cost of this market failure became clear through conversations with ordinary Americans trying to buy silver. Robert is a 64-year-old retired teacher from Ohio who's been attempting to purchase 300 ounces as inflation protection for his retirement savings. "I've been trying for 4 months," he told me with audible frustration. "Every dealer gives me excuses. No inventory. Delivery delays of 3 or 4 months. Prices that are $30 or $40 over the spot price I see on financial websites. I feel like everyone is lying to me, but I can't figure out who or why. Is it the dealers? Is it the exchanges? I just want to buy silver coins to put in my safe, but the entire system seems designed to prevent me from doing that at any reasonable price. It makes me wonder if silver even exists or if it's all just numbers on computers." Robert's confusion is entirely justified because he's operating under the assumption that published silver prices reflect actual market conditions, and that assumption is completely false. I spoke with Michael Torres, who retired from IRS criminal investigation and now consults on financial crimes, about the legal implications of underground silver trading. His perspective was more nuanced than I expected. "Purchasing silver for cash isn't inherently illegal," he explained. "Silver isn't a controlled substance. The legal problems arise from tax evasion by dealers not reporting income and from potential money laundering if the transactions involve criminal proceeds. But for ordinary buyers purchasing silver as investment or inflation protection, paying cash to a private seller isn't automatically criminal activity. The bigger question is, why has the official market failed so badly that law-abiding citizens feel they have no choice but to transact outside regulated channels? That's a market failure and regulatory failure that creates conditions for underground economies to flourish." The scale of black market silver trading is difficult to quantify precisely because it's deliberately hidden, but I can estimate rough magnitude from multiple data sources. COMEX registered inventory has declined 97 million ounces over 20 months. Official dealer sales, based on U.S. Mint sales figures and major dealer disclosures, account for approximately 62 million ounces of that decline. That leaves 35 million ounces that move from official inventory to unknown destinations. Not all of that is black market activity. Some represents industrial consumption and international exports, but conversations with industry sources and underground dealers suggest that 12 to 18 million ounces has moved through black market channels. At current underground prices averaging $120 per ounce, that represents $1.4 to $2.2 billion in completely unreported economic activity. That's not fringe black market trading. That's a substantial alternative economy operating parallel to and increasingly displacing the official precious metals market. What terrifies me about this situation is the self-reinforcing feedback loop I'm observing. As more buyers shift to underground channels because official dealers cannot deliver metal at reasonable prices and timeframes, those official dealers face declining revenue and volume. This makes it even harder for them to compete on price and delivery, which pushes more buyers to black market alternatives, which further weakens official dealers. I'm watching a death spiral where legitimate precious metals infrastructure is being hollowed out and replaced by unregulated underground networks. And the fundamental driver of this spiral is the complete disconnect between COMEX paper prices and physical silver reality. As long as COMEX shows $73 while actual metal costs $120, the official market cannot function credibly, and the black market will continue expanding. Treasury Department officials I spoke with off the record expressed awareness, but also a sense of powerlessness about underground precious metals markets. One official told me, "We know there's increased cash-basis precious metals trading happening outside normal channels, but we don't have resources to investigate every private transaction between individuals. Our enforcement focus is on large-scale money laundering and organized crime. Someone buying silver coins at a coin show or through a private dealer for cash isn't really on our enforcement radar unless there's evidence of broader criminal activity connected to it." Another official was more concerned. The growth of underground markets in anything, whether it's precious metals or other goods, indicates loss of confidence in official institutions and regulated markets. That's a warning sign of deeper problems in financial system stability and public trust. The international dimension adds another layer of complexity. Similar black market silver networks are emerging globally, particularly in Asia, Latin America, and Europe. Chinese buyers are paying substantial premiums through underground channels to circumvent government restrictions on precious metals ownership. Venezuelan citizens are using black market silver transactions as inflation hedges to preserve purchasing power. European investors are buying off the books to avoid wealth taxes and financial surveillance. The global underground silver market is likely moving billions of dollars annually across borders, all outside official channels, all unreported, all driven by collapse of trust in official pricing and regulated markets. This represents a fundamental shift in how value is stored and transferred globally, largely invisible to governments and financial institutions. I created a comparison chart showing the divergence between official and actual silver prices over 120 days that tells the story visually. The blue line representing COMEX spot price moves in a relatively stable range between $71 and $76 with normal market volatility. The red line representing verified black market transaction prices starts at $84 4 months ago and climbs steadily to $120 today. The gap has expanded from $13 to $47. That's a 64% premium over official pricing, and the expansion rate is accelerating exponentially, growing by $5 the first month, $9 the second month, $15 the third month, and $18 just in the last 3 weeks. This isn't a stable premium that might normalize. This is a system breaking down in real time. The conclusion I've reached after weeks of investigation, after standing in warehouses at 1 a.m. with cash, after interviewing underground dealers and frustrated buyers and worried officials and academic experts, is that we're witnessing the real-time collapse of official silver market structure and its replacement by underground alternatives that are paradoxically more efficient and reliable than the regulated system they're replacing. The black market has taken control not through criminal activity, but through competence, providing what official markets cannot: immediate delivery of physical metal at known prices with transparent terms. $120 per ounce isn't price gouging or manipulation. It's genuine price discovery in a market where physical silver is scarce, and buyers will pay premium prices for immediate possession and verification, rather than waiting months for delivery that might never come at prices that bear no relationship to reality. The ending I want you to understand is that this situation will resolve in one of several ways, none of them good for financial system stability or government oversight. Official market prices could gap up dramatically to meet black market reality, which means COMEX silver jumping from $73 to $120, or higher, destroying confidence in commodity exchanges and revealing decades of price manipulation and fractional reserve practices. Or, the black market could grow so large it becomes the primary pricing mechanism, while official exchanges become irrelevant, undermining government tax collection, regulatory oversight, and financial transparency. Or authorities could attempt crackdowns on underground trading, which would drive markets even further underground, and create genuinely criminal networks to replace current, relatively benign alternatives. All three outcomes represent failure of existing market structures. For Americans trying to navigate this crisis, trying to understand why they cannot buy silver at prices quoted in financial media, trying to decide whether underground purchases are worth the legal gray areas and risks, my advice is straightforward. We're living through a transition period where old market structures no longer function and new structures haven't fully formed. The official price of $73 is meaningless because you cannot transact at that price. The black market price of $120 is real because that's where actual metal changes hands with immediate delivery. If you want to own physical silver, understand you're paying $100 to $125 per ounce in actual markets, regardless of what COMEX displays. If you purchase through underground channels, understand the legal implications around tax reporting and potential problems if dealers are investigated. If you wait for official markets to stabilize, understand you might wait indefinitely or discover prices have moved far beyond current levels when you finally decide to buy. What I know with certainty after completing this investigation, after holding silver purchased in a midnight warehouse meeting, after documenting the $47 gap between fiction and reality, is that the market structure Americans relied on for decades is irreparably broken. The black market has assumed control not through force, but through providing what official channels cannot. $120 per ounce isn't coming from greed or crime. It's coming from real supply constraints and real demand in a market where physical metal is genuinely scarce, and buyers pay premium prices for immediate delivery and verifiable possession. The official price has collapsed as a meaningful benchmark because it describes no transaction actually occurring in the real economy. We're living through the moment where illusion is replaced by reality, where paper prices give way to physical facts, where regulated markets fail and unregulated alternatives emerge to fill the void. The black market isn't the problem, it's the symptom of a much deeper problem. The complete failure of official precious metals markets to function at advertised prices. Consider yourself warned, consider yourself informed, and understand that the price on your screen is not the price you'll pay when you try to buy actual metal. The real price is $120 cash in a warehouse, often in the middle of the night. That's the market now. Everything else is just illusion collapsing under its own weight.